Hello and welcome to Samuel's Fortress. I'm your host Kirill, and today we're going to be talking about the brutal assault on the secretary of the Bulgarian club in Ohrid, Hristijan Pendikov, which occurred a few nights ago on January 19th, 2023. Now, before we get to that incident itself, I do want to give a little bit of background on the Bulgarian club in Ohrid itself, as well as the Bulgarian club in Bitola, both of which were opened last year in 2022. The first club that was opened was the one in Bitola. It was opened during the summer of last year and was named after the Macedonian revolutionary Ivan Mikhailov. Now, due to the anti-Bulgarian attitudes which are very prevalent in Macedonia, specifically in the Republic of North Macedonia, there were protests surrounding the opening of this Bulgarian club. One of the Macedonians attempted to burn down the club by setting the door on fire. However, this was not successful and resulted only in minor damage. Shortly after the opening of the Bulgarian club in Bitola, a second Bulgarian club was opened in the city of Ohrid, this one named after the Bulgarian leader Tsar Boris III. As was the case in Bitola, in Ohrid there were also protests surrounding the opening of this Bulgarian club. However, in Ohrid the protests were much more intense. A large crowd gathered around the Bulgarian club and they began throwing eggs at the Bulgarians on the balcony of the club. They were shouting insults at the Bulgarians such as fascist, Tatars, traitors, etc. And like the club in Bitola, the club in Ohrid was also subject to vandalism almost immediately. First, the club's sign bearing the name of Tsar Boris III was smashed. Then a group of Macedonians threw rocks through the windows of the club at night. Not long after, things escalated even further when some of the Macedonians fired bullets into the club itself. And as I stated previously at the beginning of this video, matters escalated dramatically a few nights ago on January 19th of this year, 2023, when property damage turned to physical violence. On that night, the secretary of the Bulgarian club, Hristijan Pendikov, was brutally attacked in the streets of Ohrid by a group of Macedonians. The violence started that night when Hristijan was sitting in a local cafe when a Macedonian man walked up to him and hit him in the head and told him that he should be ashamed of being Bulgarian. Now, when Hristijan was leaving the cafe and walking towards his car, three men jumped out of the dark and attacked him, knocked him to the ground, and began brutally beating him. During the attack, the three men called him a Tatar, a fascist, and launched vulgar insults towards his Bulgarian mother. As a result of this vicious and cowardly 3-on-1 attack, Hristijan suffered head injuries, a broken jaw, and a number of broken ribs and vertebrae. He was immediately hospitalized due to his life-threatening injuries. Now, thankfully, there was a rapid response by the Bulgarian government who sent a plane to Macedonia to bring Hristijan to Bulgaria for his own safety and for medical treatment. He is currently being treated at the Military Medical Academy in Sofia. Immediately after this incident occurred, the Bulgarian Ministry of Foreign Affairs condemned the attack and issued a very harsh statement towards North Macedonia. The ambassador of the Republic of North Macedonia in Bulgaria will be summoned to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and will be handed a protest note with regard to a serious criminal act committed against a citizen of the Republic of North Macedonia with a Bulgarian self-identification who is also a secretary of the Tsar Boris III organization in the city of Ohrid. On January 19, 2023, the aforementioned citizen was attacked, causing grievous bodily harm, and as a result is admitted to a hospital. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Bulgaria, Nikolai Milkov, had a telephone conversation with his colleague from the Republic of North Macedonia, Bujar Osmani, from whom he received assurances of the necessary assistance from the local authorities. The acting head of the Consulate General of the Republic of Bulgaria in Bitola and a team of the Bulgarian embassy in Skopje are in contact with the injured citizen and have been sent to Ohrid. For months, the Bulgarian state has persistently emphasized its expectation for the authorities in North Macedonia to take immediate and effective measures against the serious escalation of acts of hate and hate crimes against Bulgarians in the country. The Bulgarian side has not yet received official information about the investigation and administration of justice in connection with the latest attacks, including shooting with firearms against the Tsar Boris III organization from the end of 2022. Unfortunately, the attack of January 19, 2023 is a telling example of the severe consequences of systemic absence of an adequate response and commitment on the part of North Macedonia, including the inability to fulfill its main commitment to guarantee the security of its own citizens. Bulgaria expects the competent authorities in North Macedonia to take immediate action to reveal, bring to justice, and punish the perpetrators of this crime, taking into account the seriousness of the act. Pluralism, non-discrimination, tolerance, and equality are universal principles that bind European democratic societies. We expect a country that has declared its desire to be part of a union based on freedom, democracy, and the rule of law to make consistent and real efforts to fulfill its commitments related to the protection and guarantee of human rights. Unfortunately, in recent months, we have witnessed exactly the opposite trends in the society of North Macedonia. The existence of problems with the rights of Bulgarians in North Macedonia cannot continue to be denied by both the local authorities and by international partners. Obviously, this only leads to their deepening and is incompatible with membership in the European Union. Additionally, the Bulgarian president, Rumen Radev, also issued a statement condemning the incident. I categorically condemn the systemic violations of the rights of the Bulgarians in the Republic of North Macedonia and the instilling of hatred towards them, the result of which was the attack on the Bulgarian Christian Pendikov in Ohrid. The declared ambitions for the membership of the Republic of North Macedonia and the European Union and the undertaken commitments for the reforms and strengthening of democratic norms in the country are in contradiction with the reality in which the Bulgarians live within our southwestern neighbor. Once again, I will bring to the attention of the heads of state and governments in the European Union, as well as the European institutes and the Council of Europe, the issue of respecting the rights of Bulgarians in the Republic of North Macedonia. The systematic violation of their rights was the basis for Bulgaria's position that the European integration of the Republic of North Macedonia should be based on real progress in eradicating the language of hatred towards Bulgaria and Bulgarians, and respecting the rights of the Macedonian Bulgarians. Additionally, Bulgarians in Sofia held a protest march over the weekend to condemn the attack and to support the rights of the Macedonian Bulgarians living in North Macedonia. To their credit, high-ranking members of the Macedonian government, such as President Stevo Pendarovski, Prime Minister Dimitar Kovachevski, and Minister of Foreign Affairs Bujar Osmani, immediately condemned the attack as well as an uncivilized assault on the Bulgarian community within the country. Now, silent on all of this is the UMD, the United Macedonian Diaspora, which is constantly complaining about alleged human rights violations against the ethnic Macedonians living in Bulgaria. However, they have nothing to say about a Bulgarian in Macedonia who was almost beaten to death based on anti-Bulgarian hatred and rhetoric which they themselves promote. However, this shouldn't be a surprise, as the UMD is an organization whose members celebrate the murder and the liquidation of the Bulgarians living in Macedonia, which occurred during the Tito regime. Since this incident occurred, the case has been turned over to the prosecutor's office in Ohrid for further investigation and for the filing of criminal charges against the perpetrators. Now, reports indicate that 3 men have been detained in relation to this incident and hopefully will be facing criminal charges in the near future. According to the prosecutor's office in Ohrid, the initials of the 3 men are IS, SK, and SK. And although I'm not sure who the 2 individuals with the initials SK are, reports indicate that the man with the initials IS is a 24-year-old Ohrid resident named Ilya Spasevsky. Now, what can one say about this other than it was completely predictable? After months of anti-Bulgarian ethnic slurs, vandalism, arson, gunfire, it was completely predictable that matters would escalate into physical violence and possibly death. Furthermore, this incident clearly demonstrates that the Macedonian-Bulgarian dispute is at a critical stage and can quickly spiral out of control and lead to even more violence, especially if the Bulgarians decide to avenge the assault on Christian and engage in retaliatory actions. Hopefully that does not occur, but clearly the potential is there for that happening. I personally encourage Bulgarians to not engage in such behavior and to allow the Bulgarian government, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to deal with this matter through official channels. Now, I'll continue to monitor this situation and bring you any updates as to future developments surrounding this incident, but for now, I simply ask that you all pray for Christian's speedy and full recovery and for the safety of all Macedonian Bulgarians living in North Macedonia.